Sorry, I know you guys can't see, you can't see my computer, but it wasn't letting me record to the cloud just with the button. It was making me sign in, and now it let me do it. So now we're ready. Sorry, Dee, thank you.
Yay!
Go ahead.
No, you're perfectly fine. Thanks. Um, so I did speak to Janine this morning, and she has secured a location for the upcoming cohort. And I believe that the selections, I think she's finalizing the participants for that. I think there were 14, I believe, that applied. So that's the last thing that she was going to do. But what we talked about this morning was she did secure the location.
Great. And it looked like she posted on the platform too that she had sent out emails for people who were accepted. So
Awesome.
she said to
She
check her.
did.
Great. Okay. Cool. Hey,
What
Georgia.
was next?
The
Hey,
next thing,
sorry.
you're good. So that was it for if there's any more updates about the Grow Your Brand uh, cohort. Otherwise, the next thing we had on last week's agenda for deliverables for this meeting were timeline details from Georgia or any further details. You're
Sorry, I keep
muted.
forgetting to unmute myself. And just let me know if you can't hear me. Sometimes my speakerphone is very wonky.
We can hear you now.
Okay, cool. Just let me know if that changes. So I talked to Ben on Monday. He is working on the letter of intent that we talked about, and they have they have a battery that they have been testing. So it's a battery, inverter, and charge controller all in one, and they ran it down, charged it up, put another load on it, and they said that they're at like 80% sure of it being something that we can use.
Great.
The other thing that I've been looking at is panels. So with that information, like having the battery as a like already covered, that allows us to get really good panels, which means that the battery lets us do like autonomous time, so overnight, cloudy days, things like that. The panels allow us to harvest more energy while we're using it. So
And
while we're also running refrigeration, aquaponics, things like that, we are also able to bank more with more and with more panels and better panels. So that's kind of where we are right now. And not a lot more updates other than that, but it's looking really good as far as what we're going to be able to do and have really like a good robust system.
Yay.
Yeah.
Great.
I think the question was more about like time, Georgia. So like as far as when that's going to get started, like that type of thing. I believe that's what the question was, right?
Yeah, timeline details. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we wrote down. We have some, but because I've only been able to meet with them in the last 2 weeks, and he's looking at getting a lot of things in kind, we don't have a lot of that information just yet. But I have communicated with them that there is a timeline on spending the money and completion of the project, and they're aware of that. I just want to have a detailed written out one.
All right.
So do we want to like do we want to operationalize a timeline at all? So if like, June 30th was the deadline, it seemed like, I don't know if you're gonna have it by June 30th. So
What was that deadline for June 30th? I'm sorry.
was to know how this working group money was gonna get spent.
Oh,
And to
okay, yeah.
have like final proposals and, basically ready to fully commit to that, the money being spent in one way, and if not, then it would be open to mini grants, or just disappeared, whatever you guys kind of pick. So I think that having a deadline just to communicate to your people is smart. So I mean, like July 15th, if they can, if because what are we waiting
I've
to?
communicated with them like what we had talked about last week, the June 28th deadline.
Okay,
Um,
so that's okay with
of having like a plan and a final proposal written.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's there. It's just not detailed out yet, but it is there is an understanding that that's the deadline like we had spoken about.
Cool.
And I'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure we will at least have, right, I have the proposal written up and some, as you saw, like I have like 3 budgets written. It's more of just saying like this is the one. So those details of like, is the money buying batteries, or solar panels, or those, it's just sort of figuring that part out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any other information we'd like to see before, so are we sticking to the June 30th deadline? If you're gonna have you gave them the June 28th deadline?
Yeah, that's what I gave them, the June 28th, so that I could talk to you guys on the 30th. And then I'm supposed to be getting a letter from him today, of intent, and then yeah, I mean, it's mostly it's us asking people for like, what do they have? So it's sort of, we've already made a lot of the asks. It's waiting to see what people say is available. Does that track?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're also just kind of waiting, but yes.
Okay. Anyone else in the group have
I guess
anything that
I
they?
guess my question is, because of the fact that, there's waiting, because I know I completely understand, I'm waiting as well. So but if we're waiting until the 28th, and let's just say, God forbid, something happens and that doesn't work out, and we need to find another way to allocate the funding, that gives us zero time as a group to decide. So can we decide today that, in the event that that does not happen and the deadline is not met, that we're just going to go ahead and go with the mini grant, and then we can have like the details of the mini grants available to you guys by the 15th? Would that be something that can?
I think if that's the case, then I would ask for that July 15th deadline that Monica talked about, just for posterity.
I just made a day up. I didn't like. I don't even know what day of the week July 15th is.
Okay.
I'm like, your next meeting is July 9th.
Okay.
So if you wanted to use that, like your next meeting is July 9th, and then the next one after that is the 23rd. So if we wanted to use those dates or before I don't know, just for the sake of like having a deadline where we're gonna all meet and have accountability.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of also what is coming on that letter of intent is that this budget does cover a robust solar, power system that will have at least 10 kilowatt hours, which gives us, I think, 3 autonomy days.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and like I said, it's really only been 2 weeks that I've been able to discuss it with them, because we didn't bring this up in the meetings until June.
Georgia, I'm sorry,
No,
Georgia,
go ahead.
is there something that we can do to help you?
Not
And
as far as I know, because what I've really done is just leveraged his network to, he's reaching out to lots of solar companies, to see what they have equipment wise that they could donate or give for like at cost. So we've kind of put in a lot of that legwork, and now we're really just waiting to see what is the equipment that's available.
just let us
And
know if there's something that we can do for you and to
yeah,
help you move this forward, because I think this project as I said before, it's going to offer more than what we're just talking about because we're going to have come in the future, we anticipate having a big fertilizing crunch. And for Florida, that's so important. And I think this is the like subcategory of this project. So just know that if you need something that I can do for you, don't
Absolutely. Me
hesitate.
too. Yep.
I think the biggest thing is that leniency on the time, just because we did literally start this process this month. So it definitely helped a lot for me to go to him and say, we have this much of a budget. You know, it's more about just, yeah, waiting to sort of hear back. But the budget helps a lot with us being able to say, before it was sort of more moving targets, right? Where it was like, we've nothing. We have no money to input it, you know,
Right.
these things. Now, at least it's like, we can purchase things at cost, and we're
Yes.
getting essentially like a $30,000 system, but for much less when you look at equipment and installation.
Right. The little extra days and time to get a better return on our investment is worth it.
Yeah, I just don't have a lot of, right, like I don't have a lot of control over reaching, you know, people getting back to us, and he doesn't have a lot of control over, right, his network either, as far as getting back to us. But we are we're following up. We're doing all the things that we can do. So that's why I've just, you know, it is a very tight timeline to ask people to donate, you know, thousands of dollars worth of equipment. But like I said, we did get the battery. It's the charge controller, battery, and inverter all in one. So that's really nice. So I think just working on the budget, if it helps, we're able to outright buy the panels and wiring now. So even if that is the only thing that we get donated, the project is completable.
So is the 9th a good date for you still, or do you need the extra week with the 4th
I
of
just
July
don't know
holiday?
yet.
I mean, is that really, yeah. Because, you know, we can change our meetings a little bit too, or throw an extra one in if, I don't know what
Right.
everybody
Yeah.
else thinks, but
Let me check in with
Yeah.
him this week. I'm due to talk to him today, and I can get you more information there. But that's really the thing that would take the most. We know that it can be completed with the budget at hand. We know that it's going to be enough to power the aquaponics and refrigeration at the same time. And yeah, I mean, a lot of those question marks are handled. It's really just the sort of what specific equipment is coming in, and you know, if we have, you know, funds available where we didn't spend it on solar, that allows us to buy new floating rafts for the aquaponics because they are sun damaged, because they're like at least 8 years old. So
yeah.
all of it, there's the need is much greater than the budget for the aquaponics. It's like doable on less, but it still it allows us to just make more upgrades essentially.
Well, I'm out, you know, because this is a much bigger thing. And, you know, if it's just a matter of, you know, just a little time and you're right, the timeline was short. So just, you know, a matter of time to navigate and put things together. I mean, it's going to be in the future much more far reaching than I think we can even realize right now.
Yeah, it's a
agree.
pretty thing to take on for the timeline. But it is moving along really quickly, and it's really exciting that it's a possibility with how everything's gone. So yeah,
I mean, I think you have our support. So
I can share the budgets with you. I haven't shared them just because they change all the time based on, you know, like I said, oh, we have this, we have that. They're getting more narrowed down. I do have them tied in with the CoolBot. It's all just one workbook, but I can put that onto the drive so that everyone can keep up with it too. And if you guys do have questions about timelines and things like that, I'm happy to answer them. But we've been really clear all all the way across that the timeline is important and needs to be quick.
So can we put a final deadline for a detailed proposal?
Yeah. Let's do how about the week after July 9th? And then hopefully I'll have it to you sooner, and that means that I can, definitely meet it.
So like the 15th is a Wednesday, 16th, 17th.
The 15th is good.
Okay. All right.
And then do we have a meeting on the 17th?
And your meeting is on the 23rd.
Okay. Great. That I can send it out. Everyone can review it ahead of time as well for the meeting.
Oops. Send it out.
No, I can. Not.
All right. Anything else that people want to see before our next meeting from Georgia, or anything do you want to get an update from Janine about the Grow Your Brand? What else do we need?
I have a quick question, and I apologize I was late. Did we find an in-person meeting spot? I know she sent an email out about that, and I didn't know if there was an update given.
Yes, Dee shared that she did secure a location.
Sweet.
Well,
What is the where is it?
I don't know.
I would rather that come from her rather than me
Yeah.
divulging that information. So I'm gonna let her share that when she's good and ready.
Oh. Okay. Is it sensitive?
I don't know where she is with the contract securing and things of that nature. So I prefer, as I stated, to let her share that information when she's ready.
Oh, okay. Did we invite her on the call so that she could update on us on those things?
I didn't invite her to the call, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
You want to set that for the next meeting, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Because it does seem it's coming up this next month. So we do need to know the in-person location, especially if we sent out the exceptions to the program yesterday. And people are they have to accept, I think, by tomorrow. And I don't know about everyone, but I think the location for the in-person could make a difference for some people's transportation and availability.
And that's on Janine. That's her.
Sorry?
I said that's on Janine. She needs to share the location to the attendees, and if that's going to make a difference to people, then she's got to share it, or they need to communicate with her that way.
I believe an
Cool.
email is coming. As I said, I just talked to her this morning and she was in the process of doing her final whatever's that the location is requesting. So
Perfect.
I'm sure an email will come because she's very good at communicating.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, so who's gonna invite her to our next meeting to give an update so that we have some, we're not asking each other who did what?
I've already sent her a text message, so she should be
Great.
at the next meeting. If she's not there in person, then I guess it'll be our next meeting is, what do you call it anyway?
Right, it's
Virtual.
virtual, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Any other deliverables for our next meeting on July 9th?
Mm-mm.
I don't have anything right now other than this funding. I guess something I've been kind of wondering about is what do the rest of our meetings look like going into the next fiscal year? Is there something that that you guys would suggest that we are like focusing on other than keeping an eye on the grants? This has been such a big focus, I think, for so long that I think I just am, I think, feeling a little lost as to like what else we might be talking about.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, the July meetings, it seems like kind of like, getting this across the finish line. It seems like there's already some things for the July meeting. And then for August, if nothing naturally comes out of the July meeting for a August meeting, then we can kind of reevaluate what that means, and then September maybe some kind of like debrief, because technically this first cohort ends in September, I think. So we can kind of work a little bit on that. I think that we wanted to be a little hands off with like letting you all kind of decide how you want to use your time. So I think August is really the only like TBD. And we can try to work on like what that debrief process would look like. So that way in September, we can make sure that that's like fully finished. And yeah, so a little
Cool.
TBD.
Yeah, I have a few people who have expressed some interest in coming into the meetings. And so also just being able to share like
Yeah.
right feeling. I was like, I don't know what we're gonna be talking about actually. So yeah. All right, well cool. That I think that just would help give it some focus. So okay.
Yeah. I think, it could be something like, well, I guess that's more economic development. But now if you get your infrastructure kind of all set up, like making a plan to use it in some way, whether that's an event or, like, I don't know. Yeah, we'll kind of, I think we'll feel out how the rest of this time goes, and then we'll see like June and July, and then we'll see what needs to be done.
Yeah. I just wanted to check in because like I said, I also wasn't
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
I'll just say, I'm, obviously brand new to these meetings. I'm kind of getting my feet wet, hearing what you guys are all working on. And so I am also excited to, start working on some new projects where I'm happy to contribute wherever is needed, as we move into this next phase.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see you on the meetings, Erin.
Of course. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I'm gonna try and get one of each. I'm gonna try and be more consistent, especially as Green Team comes to a close. So happy to be here.
Awesome. Did Erin, were you able to give any of your background? I heard it in I think one of the last meetings, but Erin, you said you worked on some farming projects in California?
Oh, sorry, not California. Back in Orlando, where I was born and raised. I did work I did some brief social media stuff with a compost company. I worked on a local organic farm. And we, unfortunately, the margins are slim, and they left actually this past year. And so I'm really interested in seeing like what can be done at a local and regional level to help to support smaller farms like that. I mean, and I'm surprised, I don't think they're part of Homegrown Hillsborough, but there's one of my favorite kind of local farms is Strawberry Passion in Thanadasasa. Do you guys know of them?
There's some big changes happening there.
Yeah, I can tell because it's it's really changed drastically in the past year. They're not doing some of the stuff that they used to do, and I would love to be a facilitator to get them more involved in Homegrown Hillsborough, but I'm actually not sure what they've done so far with y'all or what's kind of
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh no.
Yeah. Froze.
I think you're frozen, Georgia.
Yep.
Unfortunate. I wanted to hear what you guys said.
Big cliffhanger.
Yeah. But yeah, I know that I've seen a lot of the community garden representation in these meetings, and I'm wondering what type of like other, we're in the food production working group meeting, and so I'm wondering, and I'd love to get, a little bit, if we have time, learn a little bit more about where each of you guys are at, because I know where Dee and Georgia are. But yeah, so I can put roots out there or feelers and, spread the word.
Yeah, that could be a good August meeting.
Cool, cool.
And then we also have Crystalline.
Yes, that's me.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know, like you want to introduce yourself to others as well?
Sure. I'm Crystal and Keith. I have my own business called Kindred Consulting, and a lot of what I do is capacity building. I come from a public health background, but public health is everything. And so that's our human systems and our environment. And especially like the food is that really big intersection there. I'm also the chair of the Social and Economic Committee for the Department of Health's Health Improvement. It's one of their work groups. And so one of the ties between our work group and this work group is that we have a food voucher initiative that we had sponsored. And so we get those redeemed at the Ybor Saturday Market. We have a vendor there who sells produce from local growers. And so I was hoping there would be some cohesion there, perhaps at some point working with some of you folks. And then also from the business standpoint, I'm also looking to build up organizations, and I do strategic planning, research, evaluation, and all that kind of stuff. So if there are organizations who are looking to do strategic planning and have really a plan of how to scale, how to grow, how to do that realistically, um, let me know. I can do like discounted type of things, and I do some pro bono work too. Some of that's like with a caveat that you let me use your stuff on my website, kind of thing. But that's something that I'm looking to build and help. So let me know. And another thing too is like I've worked a lot with other foundations like in conservation. So like the Florida Wildlife Corridor, helping across the state of Florida, working with UF IFAS as a partner in that too. So just lots of ways that it intersects and yeah, bringing people together and making the plan for sustainability.
Great. Thank you. Cool. Well,
I guess we're left
Yeah.
on that cliffhanger with Georgia. So she hasn't made it back yet. So I don't know. D,
Crystalline,
anything?
I don't think I heard some of that before. So that was awesome to hear again. Like hear bits and pieces that I missed or may have missed in the past. So thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's like the systems level piece of that. And then the other piece is the community engagement. So if you are having, if you're wanting to engage the community in conversations about this kind of thing, that's something else that I do, is human-centered facilitation. It's very participatory, everything that I do. I also come from an anthropology background. So being able to understand to shift the language so that people can understand, adapting to the culture, because there's all the subcultures within our culture, right? And making all of that accessible. And yeah, I do wish Georgia was here to hear that too.
I have to fill her in.
Yes, I'll have to catch up with her.
all right. Should we evaluate?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Because my phone's about to die, so I don't want it to die on y'all. So
All right. So for those who haven't been to our meetings, we do a meeting evaluation after each meeting to kind of see if we're being productive and how it's going. So we kind of just go down the line for our voting members. Jessica's not here; she's at a conference. D, how would you rate us 1 through 5 on participation?
5.
5. And Georgia also hasn't made it back. Okay.
5.
Val, 5. Thank you. Lauren.
5.
All right. And achievement, what did we accomplish? What do you think, Dee?
Did we get everything on the agenda?
Yes.
I think I lost seeing it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be a 5 then.
All right.
5.
5. Lauren?
5.
Great. And listening, were we focused and mindful, Dee?
5.
Is that a 5? Sorry, kind of cut out.
Yeah. Yes. 5.
Thank you.
5.
5.
Great. And last one, did we stick to our agenda and use our time wisely?
Absolutely. I'm gonna say I was because I was late.
All right. Uh,
4.
4. And Lauren.
Five.
5. All right, thank you all for that. And our next meeting is July 9th, virtually again. So we'll see you then.
Thank you,
Great.
ladies.
Thanks, everyone. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you, everyone.
Thank
Have
Thank
a
you all.
great
See you
day.
next time.
Bye bye.